Talk.
Peace, shalom.
Peace. What's going on? Good to be back.
Yes, sir. We about to
Live
talk
from Virginia
about,
Beach.
huh?
I said live from Virginia Beach.
Hey, look, I got my VA hat on today.
Two
Can't wait
up.
to camp back. Two up, two down. Yeah, man. We ain't gotta like do no introductions or anything. We can just hop right in. So we gonna talk about, you know what I'm saying? You see, I ain't got nothing on me, do I? Oh,
No, you
you doing
good.
all this.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, word. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Being 40, bro. First of
Yes,
all,
sir.
happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you, bro. Happy belated to you, man.
Appreciate it.
It feels
Look,
good to be here. 4-4.
yes, sir. They say life don't really begin till you turn 40 anyway. And for those who don't know, me and him birthday is only 9 days apart, literally. We
Mm-hmm.
born in June, June babies, the start of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And you already know, being in Virginia Beach, it's like, thank you for the birthday wishes. Like we already getting those. I know it's July, but our birthdays was only like what 3 weeks, 3 weeks ago.
Right, right.
Um,
Not
but
even.
yeah, so we're getting on here and we're just talking about life at 40 now, and we're gonna touch on what we've been through spiritually. We're gonna touch on what we've been through musically, and it's funny having Brandon on the last session for last. It's like, dang man, I hadn't sat down and really talked to Brandon about everything that he was experiencing and doing music with us, and just to hear his side of things was like, wow, totally
Yeah.
gave me different perspectives.
Yep. Same here.
Yeah, like we were so gung ho about Hebrew this, Hebrew that, and music this, music that, and it's like you don't always stop to think how you're making other people feel around you, and the fact that we were so supported by our family, by our friends. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it kind of reinforces, oh, I'm doing the right thing. This is the right path.
Right,
And a lot of people did not necessarily subscribe to our beliefs, but they
right,
still rock with us anyway because they like the fact that it was positive. And that's one of the things that Brandon hinted on. And it made him think more critically about his own journey,
right,
musically and spiritually. Because, like, look, back then, like, it won't it won't that common to find other people that was in the music space with you going hard.
right, right, right.
And honestly, it might not be that many people today. It just feels like it because of social media.
You're right, right.
So look, now I want to ask you the same question. Like, how did you feel about everything? Like starting off with, we can even go back to before you even met me with like really like starting to take music seriously into having to switch things up when you got on not necessarily the Hebrew train. Well, yeah, we could say the Hebrew train and
Mm-hmm.
then meeting brothers in that space.
Well, I mean, having doing music in that space is what motivated me to keep going. You know what I'm saying? To motivate me to actually, it made it more realistic that, oh shoot, I can actually have a career in this. Because when I was looking back at the Get Money Gangster phase and stuff like that, you know what I mean? It was like, okay, it was cool doing like these local shows, but when I look back at it, man, these is all people I done played sports and went to school with, and you know what I mean, just seeing around the way at the high school parties. You know what I'm saying? So now we're out of high school. Now we just got microphones and stuff, doing the same things that we were doing in high school. You know, just going to the venues, trying to get girls, get drunk, get high, and then now we're on stage with it too. You know what I'm saying? just just talking about it, and now we're just fabricating a little more about what
You're
we
having fun.
doing. Yeah, having fun, and it's just like, okay, I like how it feels getting on this stage, but making that transition to um, content. Hey, what's up, bro? We good? My boy just walked in.
Hmm.
But yeah, having content that had more substance, you know, and the reaction you get for having substance, man. Oh, you good, bro? Yeah, we know. Um, but having content with the substance that people could could learn from. Now I'm the guy that people are coming to get more insight about. Yo, okay, so the people in the Bible are black. You know what I'm saying? Or Jesus is a black man, and you know what I mean? Like I'm the go-to guy in the area at the time. You know, because people are listening to my music and they're getting this and they're learning from it, and it makes me think of myself like, dang, that's what I transitioned to as well, because I that's why I loved KRS One's Why Is That, you know what I'm saying, where he's actually rapping about the Bible, you know what I'm saying, but this is like a hit record, you know what I mean, that people are, he's going on tour with this stuff. You know what I mean? Like I was gravitating to that. And just like you said, you don't necessarily have to subscribe to the same belief system in terms of spirituality and religion. And when I look back at it too, I mean, shoot, I was listening to um Rakim, you know what I'm saying? Rakim, and he was breaking down the math and the science of the seven, and you know what I mean? Like Rakim Allah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a follower of the Muslim or Islam, faith. I get it now.
Hmm.
I studied it, you know what I'm saying, to see where they're coming from, and it's just like, okay, I get it, you know what I mean? And when you transition over into that spiritual community, no matter, it's still like there's a oneness, a lightness to it. You know what I'm saying? There is, you can be an Israelite and talk to a Rasta or a Muslim, and you know what I'm saying, just y'all bounce around the information and learn from each other. So um, when when you had that interview with DJ Wise, right?
Hmm.
um it brought it back. It brought it back to how, oh dang, that is how we connected. Because I didn't realize, now that I'm 40 years old, and when we first met, I'm like, yo, this guy was in his early 30s, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So he's older than me, but now I can kind of step back and like, oh shoot, he was a young man trying to figure it out. I was a young man that thought I had it all figured out. you
Yeah,
know,
we did. Yeah,
yo, remember, we thought like, yo, this is it. Yo,
this is it.
I'm about to
Michael
put all my
Jackson, this is
bags
it.
together, and you know what I'm saying, put my bags together and wait for the rapture to happen, you know what I mean? And then we going back to the promised land, and black folk gonna be back on top, you know what I mean? And you know, so it was a great time, man, to transition where and a lot of this information wasn't just right there in your face on social media, you know what I
No, it
mean?
wasn't.
So we had to plant the seeds, and people go back on YouTube, and that was fun, bro. That was fun, actually, having having that type of energy and following to be able to like lead people to information. So like I said, when DJ Wise mentioned that, having the actual insight, by listening to our music,
Hmm.
it was like, oh, okay. And then he also said something about what he respected was, how we were trying to figure out, like, are we doing too much by just catering just to these people, and
Right.
just our content is just about this. But he was like, yo, there was a group of people that were actually listening to us, and they only listen to us. And
Fan base.
that's the part that we didn't realize, like, yo, this is
Hmm.
our real live fan base. And we could continue to grow and expand and do what we want to do,
Hmm.
but as long as we kept it, we cared about our fan base a little more, especially back then.
Hmm.
um but we just always had them reservations, man, about
Right.
being stuck in that box, man. So
Yeah, I mean, back then you're younger, you know what I'm saying? You're 23, 24, 25. You're stuck in um kind of at a crossroads, right? Like a which way am I going to go? Am I going to go with this, go with that? Again, you
mhm.
can't see the future, so you can't see how the growth can occur. And then when you see other artists like J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, so on and so forth, grow
Mm-hmm.
in these spaces, and and then hip hop and rap evolves, you go, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, cool. Other thing too is, I mean, when you're coming into that space back then, the information wasn't as readily accessible either. So you kind of felt it because you did feel that resistance when people were like, man, I can't get with that. And funny
Mm-hmm.
enough, it's always only a few people, but when it comes to negativity, you kind of harbor on the negative when there's so much positive around you that's
Mm-hmm.
going on, and you have to train yourself. And again, back to being 40, you've trained yourself so much that you begin to focus way more on the positive and not the negative, and then sometimes even see the negative as a positive,
Mm-hmm.
because it's an opportunity and not a threat, right? And so, just fast forwarding back to now, me and you, a lot of people don't even know where we are spiritually. As far as like the old fan base, everybody that's kept up with us, been rocking with us through the music, through the years, through the clothing brand, Grind, Pray, and Faith. They're very familiar with the fact that they may have evolved, but they really still on being positive, being
Mm-hmm.
conscious, and encouraging you to continue your spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, too, and this is something I want to point out too. Back then, I didn't have any kids. You had two,
Right. Right.
and when
Right.
I met you, your two were 2 years old and 5 years old. So
Right.
let's speak to that, man. I mean, when I was running around doing whatever, I had very few responsibilities other than to myself. You know what I mean? We all go through things. Around that time, right after you met me, my mother passed away like about 6 months later. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and it was really cool that you got to meet her.
Right.
um, but outside of those type of things, no responsibilities, no cares in the world. You had two kids, but you were still out there with me doing this music. How
Right.
was that experience versus now when you got a whole tribe and half of them are grown?
Well, back then I had a tribe helping me with my two kids. It was, I always look at it two ways, right? Because I was definitely there and active for my kids. But yes, they were younger age, but you know they, there's plenty of times they just stayed at grandma house. You know what I'm saying?
So did
Um,
I.
right, exactly. So, so my thing with that situation, I just always felt like, if I didn't have them kids, I would have been outside more. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I was outside, but I think I would have took that type of faith that I had and hunger back
Hmm.
then. If I wasn't a young married man with them kids, right?
Hmm.
I would have been in LA. I would have been in
Hmm.
Atlanta more. I would have been, I
And
know
maybe
I
that's a good
had,
thing, because
and yes,
because
it's a great thing.
would you have done Hebrew Israelite music had you not had been married with kids?
Man, I probably wouldn't have done Hebrew Israelite manhood, period. You know what I'm saying?
Right, or at least it'd have been delayed.
It would have been delayed. It would have been backslid or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Just because we always had those real life, the real life reality temptations and choices we had to make along the way too. And it just became a little more. It became more difficult because it's like, dang, I have this knowledge and information of self, and it puts me in a realm where I have to exhibit more discipline,
Hmm.
because of what I know now and because how I should move in the knowing. But then you come across these situations where it's like, uh, God knows my heart, but
Hmm.
I'm gonna mess up this time. Go back and repent.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we were very outside.
We
uh
were, yeah, yeah, big time, big time.
and honestly, like, even though I had less responsibility per se, You having kids, with me being out there working with your schedule, grounded me in a sense too, where I had to sit,
Mhm.
focus, um, think through how we're going to do things. I know I carried some of the weight when it came to all the other stuff when it came to music, like, we got to get this together, get that together. I got to mix this. I got to engineer that. I got to go get, this, we got to go do this. And so I was able to support you in that way with the music because you had to, get in and get out sometimes with recording. You had to get in and get out sometimes when it
Right,
came to
right.
showing up to a show. So that all that extra space we had, we could engineer. And then by us being able to do it together, and we had a team, me, you, Brandon, Brad,
Yeah.
we didn't need to spend any money to put the music out there.
Right,
That
right.
that was a huge support system in place. We didn't need to go to the studio. We had our own equipment. We didn't need to, pay people to release the music. We was able to release it ourselves.
Right.
And that really was the beginning of the change of the music industry when you could become much more self-sufficient and not
Hmm.
have to depend on any particular insider in order to move at all, right?
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, so in a sense, you being married with kids helped grounded me. And then being able to get away from Petersburg, going to Virginia Beach. Another thing about the local scene, and I was just talking to you about this earlier today. By us being an outsider in each other's city, it changed the way the local scene was for each other. So
Right,
for
right,
me, going to Virginia Beach, the local scene was like, wow, this is great, awesome,
right,
dope. I'm an outsider. For you, you're experiencing that local pushback because everybody knows each other. You get to come to the
right.
804.
I
You're
go
not
to
experiencing that in the
804. It was a
804,
different, yeah, it was a
but I
different,
experienced that in the 804. And
yeah,
it kind of like balanced everything because we were able to make a lot more moves because when Uriah shows up, it's a little different than just him showing up.
right,
In
right.
Richmond and Petersburg, it's a little different when Hen shows up. Oh wow, Hen's in town. Whoa,
Yo,
you
I
know.
used to feel like I used to feel like a star walking in the Richmond. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Like
Yeah.
I used to love the attention I was getting out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that's why I give a lot of credit to that area. But but like you said, having them kids and uh, being married with kids at uh, what we were 21, 22 at the time.
22 going on 23. Yep, we just
Yeah,
turned
yeah,
23 that
yeah.
year.
So in that whole era, man, yes, it kept me very grounded.
Mm-hmm.
I would have definitely. I remember there was a phase where um, remember Shaggy started getting involved with doing the what is it, Z104 shows and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that was
So
2011.
okay, so once the music started getting on the radio, and then we started to do the Shaggy showcases, and
Mm-hmm. At Peabody's the first
um,
one.
yeah, so that's when I really started feeling a different level of like, oh shoot, like I'm like a local celebrity now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And all it was like I said, having the project on iTunes and the flyers and stuff, and I just always had that guerrilla marketing. The guerrilla marketing skills in me to like, yo, I'm gonna make you think that I am much bigger than I, already
Mm.
am, and it would work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm only bringing that season up because that season is when I started getting like um celebrity attention from like females too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
yeah, that's where you start feeling the groupie energy. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And like I said, I was loving every bit of that, and that kind of, I won't say took away the focus, but it just added on extra that I probably didn't need to focus
I mean,
on.
I was there the whole time. I really honestly didn't notice it.
Yeah, yeah. You talking
To
about with
be
me?
Yeah, with you. I didn't really
Oh
notice
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It didn't really affect what we had going on musically. It might have changed the way, you your
Myself
perspective.
spiritually and my, yeah, yeah. It was just like,
Hmm.
it's
The biggest thing was the spiritual growth. So,
right.
and you already know I'm going to get to that because you're in this what we call a Hebrew faith, but really, there's a lot of religious elements to it, and one can even take a step further to call it a religion. Just like Judaism has a culture, it has a lineage, and then there is a religious part to it too. You don't have to be religious in order to be Jewish or come from Jewish descendants. Same thing with being Hebrew Israelite. It's the same thing just for us blacks, and that's the term that we use in coming into this knowledge, right? And so here we are, 2011, 2012. We both really want to do music. We're really on the same page when it comes to wanting to do the music we want to do. Again, heavily influenced by the Neptunes, Timbaland, Teddy Riley, heavily influenced by, Outkast. For you, Big Pun, you know what I mean? Like Nas. Like we're heavily influenced by these people. And then at the time, Drake is coming out, Tyler the Creator's coming out.
Right.
Kendrick's coming out a little bit
Right.
later.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and we're starting to see our counterparts in this industry. And I know I'm feeling like, yo, that's really the music I want to make. Not
Mm-hmm.
seeing how what I'm doing and what they're doing is actually very similar. And the other thing too about the music industry is that you have to bring your own sound to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that sonically, but also too lyrically, what you're about, your substance. Bringing
Right.
something new to the game, substance wise, like is a huge factor. Like, what do you stand for? You know what I mean? And so we're doing this, and then we're growing spiritually as well. Um, just like we question our own upbringing with the Christian faith, we then begin to question the Hebrew faith.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you one of the moments that really stuck out to me, and this it sounds silly and contrived, but it's real. It's when they started arguing over whether or not chicken was kosher.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that argument.
I do, and I kind of just ignored every part of that because I remember it though, and I was just like, yeah, this is stupid.
And when I heard that, for me, it was just like, all right, what are we doing here? What is this? Like, are we gonna just keep nicking at each other and picking apart the Bible and doing all of this, or we're gonna
Yeah.
continue to learn and grow? And for me, it sounds so contrived, but that was like a pivotal moment for me to like start backing away from like going super duper hard with being Hebrew Israelite as far as like participating.
I had two moments.
Oh yeah, go ahead and share them. This is a safe
Yeah,
space
I had two
online.
moments. So my first moment was um three moments. Three moments.
Oh
My,
wow,
yeah.
story
So
time with Hen.
my first moment, I could keep very brief because it wasn't as deep, but I remember I remember at the time, like, I was smoking my weed, you know what I'm saying? And then it would the lessons that they were bringing to the table to like kind of show why we can't be smoking weed, you know what I'm saying?
I
And
do
then
remember that.
right, right. And I was just like, okay, um,
I mean, you and Ema hid it from me until you realized I didn't care.
right, right, right. So
We had a good laugh about that. I don't know if you remember.
no, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
But
because you got to remember Brad wasn't smoking weed either when he met you.
right, got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Then he started smoking weed, and then it
right,
was Brad smoking weed, and then you saw Brad smoking weed next to me, and you went out. We went outside. We had a good laugh about it. He was like, "Oh, you don't care?" I was like, "Nah, why would I care about that?" Because you
right.
got to remember the Hebrews were kind of condemning it.
Yeah, exactly,
So when you
exactly.
first met me, you didn't know which Hebrew I was.
I didn't know. Right, right.
When you find out, like, oh, he no,
Yeah.
we
Okay.
GA,
Cool. Yeah.
bro. We
Right. Right.
this.
Yeah,
I ain't
man.
on that type time.
But I remember. I remember that we was in one of those Shabbat classes, right? On
Hmm.
online Shabbat classes, and so I'm not even gonna mention the name. It ain't that deep, but yeah,
Nah, no shine.
the dude said, "Yeah, witches, witches put they put weed in a brew. So why would you want to smoked something that witches actually use in they brew. And I was like, yo, okay. They also put apples and stuff in they brew too.
So we're gonna stop eating apples.
So should we stop eating apples? Like, you got to give me better information to kind of like, negate the fact that I'm not gonna be smoking. Oh, we got Udi out here.
Yeah, I see her. She
Yeah,
nope.
yeah.
She should remember a lot of this stuff.
Fast, fast. So I'm like, yo, we just put it in their brew. Okay, cool. My thing, and that's when it started to hit me like, yo, I'm not about to just listen to everything that these folks are saying, yo. You got to base it on your own convictions, yo. If you don't feel like, you need to be smoking weed, don't smoke weed. Just like, with the alcohol, you know what I mean? Okay, that's cool. We sipping the Manischewitz, all that. But, there's some people that shouldn't even take a sip of wine because it don't work for them. You know what I'm saying? It could be poison to them.
Well, you gotta remember, I came off being a Mormon, a lot of they saint, and so still rep a lot of they saints, love them to death.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah,
allowed to drink alcohol or coffee or
right.
tea. I think you can't drink tea either. So anything hot
Just
brewed,
like that, right?
just like that, and they just all agree not to do it. It really ain't nothing about it. It's just written in the bylaws, the doctrine and covenants, and then
Yeah,
that's just it. You know what I'm saying? So um, I could totally understand like that. For me, I didn't even think about this. It was the astrology for me.
right,
So I am to this day huge on astrology, not into horoscopes, only into natal charts, right?
right,
So when I meet people, I ask them what their birthday is, and that's why I want to know because I want to have an idea of what type of personality I'm dealing with. And
right,
I actually did an experiment in high school on astrology. I did a science project. It's pseudoscience, but they allow me to do a science project. So I did this survey that I created, and in the survey, I asked people to go through these 12 things and pick which one, and it was all out of order. You couldn't tell which one went to which sign, and they would just check off which one was most like them. When I tell you,
Eh,
over
yeah,
70% of the people chose their sign,
yeah.
90% of the people chose a sign like theirs if they didn't choose their sign.
Mm-hmm.
It was extremely accurate. And then
Uh-huh.
people were like, and it was and in the survey you had to answer three questions, and each one was for a particular sun, moon, and a rising sign, and
Mhm.
it was 90% accurate.
Right,
And I'm
right,
like, yeah, this isn't just some make believe stuff. And I did this at 16 years old.
right.
So when I hear Hebrew Israelites like, yeah, man, that's uh, the divinity, what's what divine, what do you
Right.
call it? Divination is witchcraft and all this. I'm like, I don't, that's one of the first realizations I had about the Bible. Where I was like, this thing was written 2,000 years ago.
Right,
How do y'all even know what they mean by this?
right, right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's always a rhyme and a reason to why you do what was written.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so when people are going super duper hard about something that I'm not convicted by, it raises a red flag for me as well.
Right, right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
no, I get it. I get it. And we went through a lot of that. We went through a lot of that. But then, like the real moment that I was just like, yeah, I ain't feeling that show, was when we remixed the Trey Songz joint for
Oh, that was your hill to die on. That's a
yo
good
we.
hill.
When we remixed the Trey songs, the song in particular is "Say I," right?
Say ah, we remix say ah, yeah.
"Say I," and this was like our first. See, the way it was lined up too was, remember, I had did I had do the show? I had opened up for Trey Songz and Fabulous at the Norfolk State Homecoming.
Yeah, but we hadn't made the remix yet.
So we didn't make the remix yet. So we did that. Then the remix came out
About a year
shortly
later.
after that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. It wasn't that
But
long, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. The way it looked like, and then what we did on the remix was like really phenomenal. Like, I was very proud of, um, y'all reproduced it.
Hmm.
I put my verse up there to where like folks was really thinking this was an official like Trey Songz cosign remix.
Hmm.
I remember AWOL, DJ AWOL, which is, Trey
Trey
Songz.
brother, yeah.
That's his brother. I remember him reaching out to me, like, how'd you get the vocals? And I was
Yeah.
like, you gonna have to holler at the producers. I just provided the verse, you know what I'm saying? At the time, I didn't, no, y'all knew each other, closely, but I mean, y'all from the same
Well,
city.
I didn't know AWOL closely yet. He went to school with Brad and Allen, so they knew him closely.
They know, okay, so Brad, no, right, right.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, dang, Trey Songz brother hitting me up, you know what I mean, about this joint. That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And then the feedback we was getting from it, just like, of course, the secular world, they loved it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Now it showed them, oh, this guy ain't just a Hebrew rapper or religious righteous rapper or whatever. Like, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So I'm starting to get acceptance from that world now because we just destroyed, like we killed this secular record, but then now our fan base is coming at us like, yo, I'm getting messages and damn near hate mail. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, crossover. It was a crossover. That's the correct word. Um, but yeah, now I'm getting hate, pretty much hate mail, yo. You know what I'm
Which
saying?
is crazy because like you still kept it brew on that joint.
And I still kept it. Yeah, yeah. I did not compromise my integrity at all.
But see, we know now that if you just keep going and making Hebrew music while doing that, you can't. They can't do nothing but eat crow. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but again, that noise when you're getting that for the first time, if you've never experienced that before, that
Right.
noise is loud.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was pretty disappointed about that. And
Hmm.
it hurt that they were so disappointed.
Right.
Like that joint hurt at the time. Now that I'm 40, I
I
don't give
believe
a
it.
you know what I'm saying? But
They came more for your neck than mine, even though I produced it because your vocals were on it.
right, right, right.
I didn't even honestly.
Which
I
it
don't even
was
know if I
your
got any
completely your
pushback
idea.
from that
Your
record.
idea.
Huh?
I said it was completely your idea.
I know. That's
Yeah,
how.
yeah,
That's that's my shit. Look, DJ Taylor Made is on, and we're talking about the Say I remix.
yeah, yeah. Shout out DJ Taylor
Taylor
May. What up?
Made, yo, Melly Mel was spinning the hell out that joint in
Yes,
Richmond.
sir. Yes, sir. It was a great, and it made so much sense because, like I said, I had just did the show, the homecoming show, shortly before that with Trey Songz. He's
Mm-hmm.
from Petersburg. You know what I'm saying? So it was a VA connected joint. It just made so much sense.
Facts.
And there's a little echo. I don't know if that's up in the.
I don't hear any echo on my end.
Okay, got you. But yeah, yeah, it was. It just made so much sense, and the reason we made it was starting to actually show.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did something dumb, you know. You remember, right?
No.
We took
Oh,
it
oh,
down.
took
We
the
took
song
the
down,
song down. We took the song down.
dude.
Why did we take the
I
song down?
that decision still haunts me to this day. I'm not gonna lie. I want to say I'm over it. I want to say I've forgiven myself. But listening to my uncle tell me to take that record down after 3 days. So for people that don't know, when we dropped that record in 3 days, it had 4,000 downloads in
5,000.
3 days. Was it 5,000?
It was 5,000.
5,000 downloads in
Mhm.
3 days.
We was doing it through like Hope Share or something like that, or
It was some random upload because we couldn't put it on we couldn't put it on SoundCloud and we couldn't put it on we couldn't put it on anything. So
hmm
we just uploaded it and shared it to everybody. You know, back then we had social media too. We just shared it to everybody, but it went crazy. I
yeah,
don't even know how or why. I think it just got caught up in the Google algorithm, and people were like,
yeah,
"Oh, remix," and the DJs were downloading, people were downloading it, and yeah, man, that decision still haunts me because had we not taken it down, yeah, Melly Mel had it on the mixtape. Had we not
mhm.
taken it down, I could tell you right now that song would have got millions of downloads.
Right, right.
we would have got a phone call.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yo, where did this record come from? Who did this?
So what was your uncle's like reasoning of?
He said he
Them
knew
giving-
the Trey Songz camp and that he would get in contact with them because what we was doing was illegal and that we needed to have it copyrighted first and have the clear and then we could put it back out.
Mhm.
And again, back to what I was saying earlier about paperwork. Dude, I get flack to this day. You gotta have your paperwork. You gotta cross T's, dot your I's. My experience has been paperwork equals
That's what
death
my
to a song.
look. That's my so my
Death
boy
to the music if you do
Clico
the
that's in
paperwork
here
first.
right now,
You
yo,
got to do the
inside the
paperwork
room. He
after
be
the
telling
fact.
me that same stuff, man.
And
Clico.
people really criticize me for it. And then their music never makes it out. And then everybody who's going viral and winning, dude, Kanye talks about it on Drink Champs like, yo, I just did shit. People sued me later. There's records
Right.
I'm still not getting a penny on because I got sued and they won. My
Mm.
lawyers handle that. I don't care. I'm trying to win.
Right. Right.
And I'm sitting here like, yo, every single great person is saying, put the music out, fuck that paperwork. And I'm like, but everybody in the business world is saying, nah, paperwork first. I'm like, bro, suits versus artists, bro.
Right. Right.
Suits versus artists. Every artist that wins says, fuck paperwork
Fact.
because
Yeah,
you don't
man.
know what's going to work.
Yeah. You're right about that,
A
man.
song can be fire in the studio, lyrics perfect. Put that shit out, dun dun dun. And the reason why is because it may not be the right timing. That might not be the way people are on. That's not really what they're trying to hear right now. 5 years later, that might be what they're trying to hear. It's timing.
Right.
When
Right.
it comes to music, you got a lot of good records that dud the first time. Somebody covers it. Look at Maxwell of Woman's Worth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say it's a dud, but real low on the charts when the girl from the UK or whatever did it. Then exactly. Success is on the other side of fuck it, yo. Because you got like that's the only way you're gonna learn, you're gonna grow is when you're actually in the middle of it doing it. And then people cover a record and then it's boom, new one hit. It's timing, you know what I'm saying? And you can't
Mm-hmm.
control that timing. That's the God factor.
Right. Right.
Trey Songz Say Our remix was perfect timing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And paperwork, bro, no, 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 no. You want to go do paperwork? Go sit in the office somewhere. Like you can do
Mm-hmm.
all the paperwork you want. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what your job is in corporate. You trying to be an
Mm-hmm.
artist putting out music, yo, you got to go for it.
Yeah.
But anyway, though, yeah. So hey, look, I don't mind sharing it. Like I said, we ain't got to name names. It's no harm, no foul. All is forgiven. But
Yeah.
definitely a situation that when it comes up, I get like this because I'm like, I'm still
Yeah.
recovering from different faulty belief systems that I formed
Mm-hmm.
throughout my musical journey. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
One of those being my disdain for the local market. I was talking about that this morning. Another one being, oh, I'm 40. Um, I gotta let another artist do it. Oh, look, I don't have a look to me. I don't have an image. I can't do it. And so on and so forth. Oh, the song gotta sound like this. It gotta be this type of hit or it ain't gonna work. And you end up like holding yourself back from just being an artist and creating, which is what we were designed to do in the first place. It's so funny being at 40 now and we finally gotten past all of this. Life really does start at 40. The music me and you are about to put out in this next season, like, because we not only can we stand on it, it's in our hearts coming out, but also, too, we've learned so much along the way. Dude, the way the industry is today, we've circled back around to how it used to be. It's
Mm-hmm.
all about look. Melly Mel said you gonna holler at me. I'm gonna holler at you later, bro. Yes, please text
Peace.
me, give me a
Peace.
call. Let's catch back up. Um, dude, dope visual content, music video.
Right.
Go ahead and put it out. Now your shows ain't local no more, bro. You
Mm-hmm.
go out and do a show, you put it on camera, you post it on the internet.
Right. That's fair.
Back when we first started, it was all about you put out a hot visual, you're out of here.
Yeah.
Same thing. We're back in the streets again. Like the internet held it down for a while, for a good
Mm-hmm.
solid decade. We're out of the internet again. Now it's about doing it for real in real life. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we was talking about. And when you can stand on it and you're not worried about the noise, you're not worried about what other people are going to think about your music, and you know that going back to what we was making, that people are hearing it and getting this positive message and it's changing their perspective, that
Right.
matters more to me than anything today. I think back then,
So let me cut you cut you off before I forget this thought. Right.
yeah.
So we are 40. We've been on a journey. We've had experience, and we are where we are right now. Okay. So there's things that I'm even more comfortable to say as an artist now at 40 that I would be terrified to say 10 years ago, thinking about
Facts.
what people would think or whatever. So to speak on one of the songs I got coming out on this new project,
Hmm.
there's a part where um, I say, no need to think twice because I already know it. I'm a god in this bitch and I'm ready to show it. You know what I'm saying? But I say it with so much swag and you got to dance to it, right? And I played it for somebody in particular, and he was like, I don't know about that, man. We got to, you faith. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep it faith. You can't say, you're a god in this bitch. And I said, why not? You know what I'm saying? If I feel like I'm a god in this bitch and I'm calling this place that I'm in, wherever I'm at, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
This bitch to describe this place. You know what I'm saying? And if I feel like I'm a god no, bump that. If I know that I'm a god, then I could proudly say that I'm a god in this bitch. If you feel some type of way about it, I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But that's who I am now.
Ask for permission. I mean, ask for forgiveness, not permission. Honestly, put the music out there. If people criticize you and kill it, I'm like, now if the whole consensus says, "Nah, hey, you shouldn't have said that," then that's another opportunity to go online and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, guys. Whatever."
Right, right, right.
I'm doing it right now with Castor and Pollux. Castor and Pollux is the Greek. I want to say Greek, not Roman. Greek. Um, Mythology, those two brothers that Gemini is based on. It's like, no, dude, I'm into astrology. I'm a Gemini.
Hmm.
I would have never put that in my music.
Right. But now we are 40
Hmm.
and we don't care.
No, I don't.
We don't care. We don't care. Just like the beauty of saying I don't know. Like I get happy to tell somebody I don't know. Where I used to feel like that literally I've been in positions, years ago where I've been like, I think so. Or maybe not, hell with that, yo. I don't know. If I don't know, I don't know.
But
Even
now
when they
you
try to
know that you don't know.
now I know that I don't know and I'm proud to say that I don't know.
It's
You know what I'm
beautiful.
saying? It's the most beautiful feeling ever. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, it was that easy. Is that what being woke is?
Yes.
Knowing that you don't know?
Being aware of who you actually are
Right,
is
right.
that simple.
I know I know how to if I want to, put my left hand on my shoulder, I know that there's something that triggers my left hand to touch my shoulder.
It
That I
sounds
do know.
silly to someone that's unaware.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds silly. You know how like you used to watch those old Chinese movies and the Chinese guy would always say something that's supposed to be profound, but it
Right,
sounds
right,
so
right.
simple and dumb.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like that's dumb. But then when you become aware, it's like, wow, he was literally pointing out the truth to you.
Right.
And it was so simple
Simple. Yeah.
that it sounded dumb.
Right.
And it's like you think they're being funny. No, they're not being funny. They're smiling not because they're being funny. They're smiling because they know how simple it is and you don't.
Right.
And one day when you do find out that it really was that simple, you'll smile too at
Right.
the at yourself for realizing that you knew the truth the whole time.
Right, right.
That's what makes it silly. It's like, wow, I already knew this.
If you want to know but what's behind the closed door, you have to turn the knob.
Yeah. It's like they're trying to tell you, like, no, actually, it's right there. Just
It's
turn the
right there.
knob.
Yeah, yeah. You
It's
turn the
right in
damn
front of
knob
you.
and look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's yeah. Seek and ye shall find. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's funny. Even the Bible has a ton of quotes like that. That it sounds so silly. You know what I'm saying? Or so overly simple. What when it's really just pointing out an obvious truth to you. Um,
So, with that being said, to touch on my third,
yes.
uh,
Back to story time.
yeah, the third situation that kind of made me question who I was and where I stood with the particular, spiritual faith that I was following.
Yeah.
I was getting very confused by the savior thing. The
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that really did it for me because I can't quote the exact scriptures right now, but I know it was in the Old Testament. I want to say like Deuteronomy, but there were like several scriptures saying that like man is responsible for their own sin, where like
Yes.
a son should die for his father, and father should die for his son. Like every person is responsible for their own sins. But then
Yes.
when you
It's in
have
Leviticus
this
and Deuteronomy.
Leviticus, yeah, okay, good. So when I came across that, it was just like, then how do you have this whole uh went from Jesus to, then we started identifying Yeshua. There were
Hmm.
even arguments about how to say the damn name.
Yeah. They still argue about
Hated
that to
that.
this day.
I hated that shit with a passion, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, who cares? Like my dad, his real name is Donald. Some people call him Don. Some call him D. I call him pause. Some, I
You
just did
call
that for
them
comical reasons.
pops,
I don't, yeah.
dad,
Pops,
grandpa.
dad.
I call
I
him
call
Abi,
him
Abia.
dad. You know what I'm saying? You call him Abia. There's so many different titles to. We're talking about. We know who we talking about though. So
Hmm.
it's like, yo, who cares what you
But if you
call?
say who cares, then you are a lukewarm Hebrew.
Right, exactly. Nah, this has got to be the way, because Psalm 68:4, is that the scripture? Yeah, Psalm 68
I think
4
you got it right. Psalm 68:4.
is like said something about because you've known the name or something like that. You
Hmm.
called out by my name. I know it's
Yeah, Yah. I think it says Yah.
right, right, right. But okay, no, that was Psalms 91 said something about it too. Like
Hmm.
Psalms 91. I love that scripture. You know what I'm saying? A great protection. Chapter. You know what I'm saying? But somewhere in there it says, because you have known my name. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like, it's context. It's
Hmm.
context. You know what I mean? It's like, so what about that time I was saved when I just plenty of times when I was younger and I called him God or Lord
Hmm.
and my
It worked
prayer,
out for you.
it still worked out. You know what I'm saying? Or what about the person that don't believe what I believe in, but the creator, the universe is aligning stuff for them in their way. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So who's right, who's wrong?
Hmm.
Then it comes back again, yo. You know what? We got to base it on our own convictions. You know what I mean? If
Hmm.
it works for you, but don't tell somebody they wrong because they're saying it this way or doing it that way. I thought
Hmm.
that was so elementary of a concept to grasp, but just like she said, it's still a debate to this day.
Yes.
So don't come to me talking this name stuff because that's I'm gonna like completely dismiss it. Like don't come to me talking about what name to call. And then once again, so like beyond the name part, my salvation. Who is responsible for my? I literally had to like fall back and independently figure out. Yo, is somebody responsible for my salvation, or is it me that's responsible for it? And yeah, go ahead. Why you smiling like that, yo?
Because it's funny listening to us as young men, respectfully so, figuring out who's responsible for our salvation,
Yeah.
only to find out there's nothing to be saved.
What are we saving here, right?
Because I used to have this joke even back then. I'd be like, yo, I'm saved. People used to be like, I'm saved. I used to be like, saved from what?
Right.
You're living this life just like I'm living it. That was my
Yeah.
joke back then. Now I think back to that joke, you know what I'm saying? Of saved from what? When it's like, I'm saved. Who is saved?
Right.
You? The person
You?
sitting in front of me, you're
Right.
saved? Like, who are you? And I'm like, dang, y'all sound like a monk.
Right. Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, I got to figure out who's responsible for my salvation. Then it's like, wait a minute, there's no one here to be saved.
Right.
It's
Well,
so silly, the
there's a
whole thing, and
scripture,
it's meant to be silly on purpose so that you can
yeah.
see yourself, but you don't know that at the time.
And there's a scripture in John, I believe. I think it's in the book of John. And I was at the mall talking to the lady, and she was about to buy the shirt, and she said, "Before I buy this shirt, I just want to know, are you saved?"
I'm sure
And
you
I
said
was like,
yes.
"Huh?"
I'm sure you said yes.
No, I didn't. You want to know what I
Really?
said? And it came to me in the moment, yo. I'm like, yo,
Mm.
I'm an ill dude, right? It was spiritual though. I said, well, I read in the Bible that, and at the time, I think I could actually quote the scripture, the actual
Hmm.
the scripture number and chapter. But I said, well, he who endures to the end shall be saved. And I'm not at the end yet, so nah. And she said, you know
But
what? It
it's
says
what you
that.
said was true.
He who endures to the end shall be saved. I ain't made it to the end yet, so I guess I'm not saved.
That is a very so each religion and each spiritual practice has these little things that they
Soundbite.
do. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
so funny, and so, for some it's intentional, for others, but you can see the commonality in it. So in the Bible, one of the biggest things and one of the reasons why there's so many sects and so many divisions in it is because there's contradictions throughout it,
got you.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
So when you see someone says,
Bible study.
when you read a verse that says you are responsible for your salvation, then you read
Right.
another verse that says if you believe in Jesus, you should be saved. And then
Right.
you read that he who endures to the end shall be saved. That's three different belief systems. One
Right.
is I got to follow these laws so to save myself. The other
Mm-hmm.
one is as long as I believe in Jesus that he died for my sins, then I'm saved through grace. Then the third one is, oh nah, you gotta walk this whole path. And then if you are doing it the right way, then at the very end when you die, you'll be saved. And when you're reading the Bible, a lot of people are destructing from Christianity because it created a lot of cognitive dissonance in them.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't understand what the word cognitive dissonance means, it means we have two different beliefs that are contradicting each other and you don't know which way to go and it makes you confused.
Mm-hmm.
So in Buddhism, cognitive dissonance is intentional to get you to awaken.
Mm-hmm.
What's not overtly expressed in the Bible is that they're doing the same thing.
Right.
They're writing opposite things to get
5
you to
minutes late.
see the folly in either or. Neither one makes any sense. And then once you see through the illusion, they all make sense
Mm-hmm.
because each one is for a specific audience to get them to get away from whatever they believe. It's like, oh, if I believe in this God, no, you're responsible for your own salvation. Well, shoot, I love Jesus. Nah, man, he who endures to the end shall be saved. Oh man, I'm walking this walk, man. Look how righteous I am. Nah, bro, you got to believe in Jesus. You need grace.
Mm-hmm.
Each one is to oppose a fixed stance.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus said he did that on purpose in the way that he taught. And if you think the other guys in the previous books didn't do that too, oh, dude, they were wise.
Yeah, yeah. I was checking out the Emerald Tablets of Thoth yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, hey,
Hermes
I've heard a
thought.
lot of this stuff before. You know what I'm saying?
We
Like,
say it in everyday common knowledge, as above, so below. The
yeah.
kingdom of heaven is within. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like all of that stuff was written in, but it's written in different words for a different audience for a different time.
Right.
Same concept.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, nah, those emerald tablets, very powerful. Those
Hmm.
seven hermetic principles.
Right. And to go back to it, the whole we are 40 now. You know, there was a time when you couldn't even if you wanted to check out the Emerald tablets, you better keep it to yourself. You can't, you know what I'm saying?
Well, Amber was ahead of us. Me and Amber were getting into it over that because she was reading way before I was, and I wasn't ready to read a lot of that stuff.
Right, right, right.
And we got into arguments over it. And it's so funny now for me to circle back around and read all that stuff with an open mind, mind you, throughout the years, but then
Yeah.
to be able to look at each belief system and go, oh, that's how they're addressing the issue based on their culture. It's a cultural
Based on
thing.
their, yeah, yeah. And I think, if we were to put it all in a nutshell, we have to understand that or overstand that concept, different cultures, and to even bring it more on a like down to earth level, like I know the culture of young YNs or how to even talk to a YN versus educated black man. You know what I'm saying? I know how to
Hmm.
talk to a white person that might have reservations because I'm this cool, big looking nigga, you know what I'm saying? And they
Right.
are, you know what I'm saying? So I know the right way to communicate with them. You know what I mean? It's all about culture. Culture is such an important thing to understand when we're doing what we're doing, as artists and as philosophers, period. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Listen, it's language is more than just the words you speak. It's
Right, right.
understanding. And each culture has its own way of saying and doing things. And so absolutely. And it's culture within culture within culture.
I'll even
All three of
share
those are different cultures, but we're all American, right?
Right. I'll even share like my approach with the YNs, right? Um, I see them walking in the mall. I got the brand, faith, cool, whatever. I will intentionally say, "Oh, you got the Jordan 11s on, man. I fuck with them shits." Instead of saying, "Yo, them joints is fly. I like them." You know what I'm saying? No, I'm gonna purposely use the profanity to break that wall down because they see the word faith and they think I might be like this preacher or church guy, and they not identifying with the church like that. They don't care about none of that. They have the spirituality, but I gotta break that wall down. You know what I'm saying? And let them know, like, yeah, nigga, I fought with them shits, my boy. And
You
they
know, we
looking at me like, oh shoot, he understands me.
he understands me, communication.
So what's this faith all about?
Now the wall is broken. Now you can actually talk to him. And you ain't even necessarily got to keep speaking in that way. You can just be like, yeah, man, faith is
Yo,
about
yeah,
boom,
I
boom, boom,
switch it
boom,
up on it.
bam. Because now you
Hey,
got their ear.
it's their bait. It's the bait, right? You got to catch some ear. You know what I'm saying? Just like we got 10, 15 seconds as artists and producers to catch their attention. You know what I mean?
You
You
want
got
to
to
know
do the
one of the
same
things we
thing.
used to do? And you should remember this. When Grand Prix first started, we would go to the bar and drink.
Right, right.
And initially, people used to be like, "Yo, you can't do that. You can't take pictures with a red cup. Like,
Shit.
no, don't do that." And I remember going, "Nah, I've already done this before. being a
Yeah,
Hebrew Israelite prepared me for this.
yeah,
Nah, man, people gotta see you sinning,
yeah. They got to see you outside, bro.
or at least the perception of you sinning.
Right, right.
They gotta see you sinning, bro. They
So
not gonna understand.
look at Yeshua, Christ, right? You know
He
what I'm
had
saying?
this. That's why.
Where was he
That's
at?
why he ate with the tax collectors and the rejects
Yeah,
of society,
yeah, yeah.
because they won't go hear the message if he
Hmm.
won't doing that. He might as well be a scribe and a Pharisee.
Exactly.
Y'all, my ops.
Yeah, yeah. You know he had some Jordan sandals on back then, yo,
You
or
know it.
whatever.
Look, he even said it to the scribes and Pharisees. He said, "Look, I came doing it. Look, I came doing it the way you wanted me to do it," referring to John the Baptist. He's like, I came doing it that way. I put on sackcloth. I love how he
Mhm.
speaks about himself as I, because we all know what that means. I
Yeah,
came in sackcloth. I came meditating and praying 20 times a day. You know what I'm saying? I came baptizing by water. Y'all didn't receive me then.
facts.
So now I'm coming, drinking, partying, hanging out with the low lights in the
Yeah.
club.
Right,
What difference does it make?
right.
Haters gonna hate
Yeah,
because you know that the people rock with me either way. When I
right,
was rocking the sackcloth, baptizing people, I had a whole line out there of people trying to get baptized.
right, right.
Then I'm in here popping bottles, and now I got a whole line of people trying to pop bottles.
Come
You
on,
just a
son.
hater, bro.
Check this out. I said, chapter 3, verse 9, Ecclesiastes, switching up the groove and making music for the masses. But this ain't nothing new. Look at how the culture grew through hip hop. My nigga, keep your soul and never flip flop. Pete Potter Prophet spit the message on a mountaintop, and multitudes of people came to flock like it's a party on the block. And only God could judge the thugs and thoughts. But what if the niggas in Nazareth was toting Glocks? What if the goons of Jerusalem was looking for the truth, but they ain't know what to do because they was lost like you? And served every god under the sun that make them bow down to the barrel of the gun, nigga, run. Before you get finesse to thinking this shit is done, the devil playing dirty and coming for everyone. And it be doing, and he been doing it since day one, and blah blah blah. Yeah, so you see where I'm
What
going with
song
that?
is that?
Unreleased, unreleased.
That's going on a new project, right?
Um,
Yes.
I don't think that should go on a new project.
Oh man. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
The
because
new
the new
project does have a
project
theme to it.
is more of a theme, right, right. But it could fit in the theme, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't gotta
But
force it. It's art.
yeah, yeah, it's
You know
called
what I'm
Under
saying?
the
I'm not
Sun,
gonna steer you
man.
either way, but
Yeah.
has that like you already got the beat for that?
Yes, I already have a beat for it and everything.
I'm gonna have to take that.
Hold on. Hey, man.
Everything okay?
I'll call it back. But you know we're at an hour mark, right?
Yeah. It's fine.
Okay, good.
Like I said,
Good.
we're gonna I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up anyway.
Yeah.
But dude, that's hot.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hot verse. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it puts things in perspective that no matter how much things change, they stay the same to, you know, a certain extent.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like just with what you were saying about, you know what I'm saying, that perspective when it comes to the Bible. It's like when you're really in it and you're actually growing and you really seeking this knowledge, you know what I'm saying, sincerely, that's the word I love to use.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna grow, you're gonna outgrow these systems.
Yeah.
And but the cool thing about it though is that you keep going, you end up circling back around to the system, and now the very things that may have bothered you or disturbed your spirit, and this is what I why I love being 40, you know, and going through what we went through. None of that stuff bothers me now. Like I can sit in any church, any mosque, any temple, and understand with sincerity what is happening here, and be okay if you don't, because there's levels to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's someone out here that understands something that I don't understand,
Mm-hmm.
and it never ends. And the trap that we have to avoid, which you don't have to actively do it, it's just throwing it out there for people who, you know, are listening and want to understand, is being caught up in the ego trap spiritually. That's the most subtlest trap of all, is to get so caught up in knowing what you know that it goes from becoming water to a rock again and immovable, because it's like, all right, I appreciate at this level, it's like I appreciate all the different belief systems, but I'm not about to sit here and ego trip and says, but I already know all this stuff and I'm better than you because I already know that you don't know what you're doing. And I do know what you're doing. You don't even know it. It's a subtle trap. You know what I'm saying? And so to be at this age now and finally like get to the point where it's like, you know what? Not only do I not know, and this is the key word, I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being facetious. You can't be attached. That's what the Buddhists call it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
in America, we call it not giving a fuck.
Right. Right.
But that attachment to things that it makes it glue, you can't even move on to the next thing or like be in the present moment when you're setting up a pedestal for yourself above other people's belief systems. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's a trap that we have to work through every day. We have to
Mm-hmm.
remind ourselves. You know, I remember when I called you and I was talking about my new found revelation with Jesus. And then literally the next day I talked to a friend of mine. She was like, yeah, I can't get with that. And it snapped me back into reality. I was like, oh, look how subtle the ego trap is.
Mm-hmm.
Very subtle. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get real caught up again in one particular stance, not realizing that you're taking the stance in that moment.
Right.
Yeah. And so, nah, man, but look, I don't want to, we can wrap it up a little bit, but the biggest thing, man, being 40 and what I love about our relationship, what I love about this age is still feeling young, still feeling energized, um, and being able to do what we do what we love to do. But the
Mm-hmm.
fact that the technology and everything has moved so far ahead that it doesn't feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine being 40 in the 90s, man.
Right. Yeah.
We're blessed, dude. Being
Yeah.
40 in the 90s, whoo, that's rough.
Yeah.
It's a wrap for you. It's
It's a
over
wrap.
with.
Mm-hmm.
And that was true.
Mm-hmm. I remember being a young kid and my grandparents were in their 40s. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was my grandparents, bro. You know, so I look at it like I mean I'm pretty much eligible. You know, my kids are at that age where I could be a grandparent soon. But
Hmm.
that, I mean, shoot, I'm looking at how many people I look up to, how many rappers I look up to, you know, that have grandchildren, but they still out here like, ain't nobody thinking about that. Back then, though, yeah, yeah, 40 was definitely much, much worse in the 90s. You know,
Yes. Everything was much worse.
everything.
But for a kid, it was the best.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
The 90s is the
Hmm.
GOAT decade for being a kid.
No doubt.
Like there'll never be another one like that.
Right, right,
Just like the 90s was GOAT for like hip hop, and then the early 2010s was GOAT for hip hop, like the second GOAT for hip hop.
right,
Like again, there'll never be another Michael Jackson, but we don't need another Michael Jackson. There'll never be another 90s for kids. But being 40 today in 2026, there is no age cap on nothing.
right,
It's
right,
over with. The age cap is over. It's
right.
done. It's
Hmm.
done. And I love it. And I love being at this age and having the wisdom, still having the youthfulness, and being able to do what we do even right now as we're speaking live over, you know what I'm saying, Instagram, over the internet.
Hmm.
Greater things shall ye do.
And we are doing it for sure. I am that I am
And I'm here right
mm,
now. All
right
right,
now.
man. I ain't gonna hold you too much longer. We're gonna do this again. Bro, this is every other week.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. No
Yeah,
doubt.
man, we can go on for days. And what people don't know, and I'll leave this here, this is how we talk offline.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We didn't know
So
we were
we
talking
had
about.
to share it with you guys that
Yeah,
we have these conversations.
for sure.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna holler at you later. I'm gonna say this. I'm about to create a more regiment. So I got another episode I got to drop. I'm dropping on Monday. I'm gonna
Mm,
drop this probably the following Monday, so I can spend the whole week dropping content. The bars, I gotta drop just that one clip of you rapping, bro. That's fire.
facts, facts. No doubt,
And you
no
ain't gotta
doubt.
worry about nobody stealing it because ain't nobody about that life.
No, hell no.
You
Yeah,
want to
that's
be
why I gave it
gangster?
to
Rap
you.
about some righteous, positive music because you got to stand on that because they're gonna hold you accountable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So on that note, I'm gonna holler at you, bro. Peace.